Let's take a look at the Large Micarta Sebenza tonight. A review I've been wanting to do for a while. I've owned this knife about 2 years, but before this, I had a Large Micarta Classic. So pretty much the same knife except for the beveling at the nose here and the writing that's on the locking side. Um, but I've had a Micarta Large Sebenza in my collection for a good 6 to 7 years. So I'm pretty familiar with it. One thing I really, really enjoy about the Sebenza is just the flat out good looks of it. It is very purposeful, streamlined design, very simplistic. Even the locking system, it's just cut in the titanium, which slides over and locks that bad boy up, which is, kind of Reeves' invention. Some might argue the Michael Walker liner lock, just a modified version. You know, Chris Reeve is known for bringing that to market. Sal Glesser would tell you the same. So, yeah, it's an awesome knife. They're very expensive, and you just got to keep that in mind. A lot of new Sebenza owners or people, who are just getting into knives. I know when I just got into knives, I looked at the Sebenza and I was like, those people are absolutely insane for paying that price for, a knife that just looks pretty much like any other plain Jane knife. You can show this to a non-knife person and pretty much they're like, yeah, that's nice. What'd that cost you? Maybe $50, $60? You know, But, as like any hobby, the farther you get into it, the more you start to realize all the real subtle changes of things, and, you start to appreciate every detail a little more, and you really appreciate all the tolerances and stuff. But I'm not going to lie. I mean, this knife cost me $500. About 15 of that was shipping, and another $35 for this extra thumb stud here. It cost extra to go with the inserts, whether they're wood or micarta, whatever. So, I mean, you can get a Sebenza well under 500, especially if you look used. But yeah, brand new, almost $500 to my door. That's a bit ridiculous for any pocket knife, especially with just S30V and just titanium. All that aside, though, it is worth it to me. Obviously, I've paid the price and paid the price again and again, a few more times. Well, this is not the Sebenza, but I'm just talking higher end knives in general. You know, um, you just always got to stay grounded. They're just pocket knives. An expensive pocket knife is still just a knife, So don't think, I've said it a couple times. Sebenza is not going to change your life. You're not going to impress anybody with a Sebenza in your pocket. You got to almost do it for you. But side note, yeah, that's a little bit of a rant, whatever. You just see so many people that come on the forums, and they're just not that impressed with the Sebenza. I can totally understand that, but I think because in their mind they think, a Sebenza is maybe more than just a knife, when it's really not. It's just a knife that cuts things. It does it with a lot of style, a lot of dependability, and for me, it just looks great. To me, there's not a better looking knife than a Sebenza. There's just not, in my opinion. And they're very tank-like. If you've never held a Sebenza before, which is, maybe you get to a gun show or something, or a nice cutlery shop around you, I think you'd be very surprised at how thick the titanium actually is, and how tight the lockup is and everything. If you've never experienced a Sebenza, you got to get one in your hand to appreciate it. And even at that, you might still not really get it until you go out and carry it and use it for like maybe 3-4 weeks in a row. Maybe go clean a deer or something with it. Take it apart, clean it up, sharpen it a few times, and then you start to really understand what the Sebenza is. For me, the Sebenza just gets better every time I put it in my pocket. I just appreciate the Sebenza a little more. And there's other knives that I feel that same way about. Military being one of them. Of course, these, this has nothing to do with the review, but these two knives are my absolute favorite EDCs. Of course, I'm in the South, and I have kids. Obviously, if you guys follow the channel, you've seen my little bonus footage. But these will both prep food very well. You can peel apples with both of these. They're just very, very well built EDCs, all-purpose knives. But the Sebenza does that to the extreme. So that's why if you told me I had to pick one knife out of my collection, get rid of all the rest, and had to carry and use that knife for the rest of my life, without a doubt, hands down, it would be this very knife in my hand. So if that says anything, I like it that much. I feel that strong about it. And I absolutely love the military. So, I do like this just a little more. And sometimes, depending on which day, I might actually take the military. But this knife does so much right. Especially the 21 and the Micarta. This exact configuration, if I won the lottery, I would still have this in my pocket every day. I might collect more of something like this, Damascus Sebenzas. But an everyday user, yes, this would handle it. But, every single day, it would be this Micarta Sebenza here. So that's kind of cool. When you think about it like that, yeah, they're expensive. But still, you save up, you can get one of these. Chances are you've got a few Spydercos that you don't carry, or a few other knives that you could, sell and get one of these if you wanted to. Not saying it's worth it. Just saying if you wanted to, it's kind of cool to own the knife that you would still have in your pocket, even if you hit the lottery. So what makes it so EDC friendly? Obviously for me, the size is great. Fits my hand perfect. There's no hot spots. The jimping is there. It's more for looks, and I'm totally happy with that. That's great for me, because I don't really, if the knife is designed right, has a nice guard on it, I don't really care for jimping. And I said it there. I don't like jimping. I don't care. If it's there just for looks, fine. I think it does look good, But sometimes I just get not knocking striders, big ass jimping here, but it can tear your thumb up a little bit when you're bare hands. You see, with all these stitches and stuff on my knuckles, and I'm not really a sissy as far as hands. And this will cut the crap out of your thumb. You see, just by pushing a little bit, especially you get on this double gunner right here. Look at this. You do that too many times, really cutting with this. Yeah, if you can see that, them are all pressure points, all hot spots. You don't get that with the Sebenza, so I'm fine with the jimping. Lockup, a little deep, but very tight, very perfect. The grind, I love the high hollow grind. So over time, again going back to you make me pick one knife for the rest of my life, as I sharpen this blade away, and I can do another video on this, on grinds. I've been meaning to do that video too. This edge is going to still stay very thin. You'd almost have to sharpen almost half the blade away to start to get up to thick. The thick blade stock. I don't know why the lighting. There we go. Perfect pocket clip. This extra bump on here holds it on your pants really well. I like the lanyard, especially when you're using gloves, in the cold weather. This, you can still unlock the knife very easy, without gloves on. Obviously, with gloves on, you can still get in here. The thumb stud, a lot of people knock it. I love it. I get right behind it, push it out. With gloves on, you can come right down on top of it, swing it out. So that's great for me. Very usable knife with gloves on. Do the Micarta scales add a bunch of grip? Not really. They just add a little bit of width to the knife, which just fills up your hands a little more. I just really like the looks. So yeah, that's my review. I don't want to hold you more than 10 minutes. There's obviously a lot more I could say about the Sebenza. I just feel like every knife nut should experience one.